Your brain is very important. It is like Google's data centers, full of rubbish most of the time, but occasionally there's some sensitive information in there. But like everything, there always ends up being myths about it. So here we go, 10 myths about your brain. Number 10 is that we only use 10% of your brain. PET and fMRI scans can show us that we use way more than 10% of your brain just to complete simple tasks like using your memory and your reactions. The things that you think would be almost automatic, well, they take up more than 10% alone. Also, we might not know what all of the brain does, and the fact that if you're born with some of it missing, the brain can rewrite itself. But as CGP Grey says, if you think that you can scoop out 9% of your brain and live, maybe you only do use 10% of your brain. Number 9 is that the brain declines with age. Some cognitive functions do decline with age, but plenty of them actually improve as you get older, such as vocabulary, linguistics comprehension, conflict resolution, and emotional regulation. These are only a couple of the main areas that allow the older generations to outperform the younger generations. Number 8 is that brain damage is always permanent. It's the idea that you are born with a certain amount of brain cells, and once you've killed them, they are gone forever. However, if you look at a baby for example, when it is born, the brain is only about 50% the size it should be. This is why they can't talk and walk, whereas other animals, when they are born, they can walk around and they can communicate to their parents. Then we spend up to 5 years getting the other 50% back and expanding there onwards. Number 7 is that the brain is hardwired. One of the most enduring myths about the brain is that certain areas are hardwired for certain tasks. Yet, as you've seen before in number 10, the brain is remarkably flexible when it comes to where it can do what. Such an example is when you lose a sense, say vision, your others sharpen. This is your brain rewriting that area and dedicating it to the other senses. So the vision part of the brain might be rewritten to help your hearing. 6. Left and right brains. It is the idea that the left brain is more organised, yet the right brain is more creative. Initially, it would seem like this is true as different areas of the brain can be reserved for different functions, like the senses in the one above, and it may be so that the organised side of the brain happens to be on the left and the creative side happens to be on the right. But we have proved with fMRI and PET again that you do use both sides of your brain, and this myth was disproved. Number 5 is your memory is an exact account. This suggests that your memory is a perfect account of what you did, but it's simply just not true. Your memory, and the brain for a matter of fact, can warp the time of events. In a TV show called Brain Games, they have a look into this idea and show that people aren't as good at remembering anything really. If we look at the way the memory works, more than likely when remembering an event, you are remembering the last time you remembered that event, thus altering the memory slightly. Number 4 is that listening to classical music will make your baby smarter. However tempting it is to believe in the Mozart effect, there is no evidence to support the idea that playing classical music to a baby will make it smarter. It's just like the idea of what thoughts go through your mind when you're pregnant will affect the baby, so if you think elephants, the baby will like elephants. Number 3, brain games improve your memory and reasoning skills. There was a study done by the BBC into whether or not brain games actually improved your mind. They asked 8,600 people of ages 18 to 60 to play brain games designed to improve your memory and reasoning for 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week. The study showed that after 6 weeks, the test subjects didn't have any better memory or reasoning. Number 2, your IQ stays the same. The IQ test is no means perfect, but your IQ is not fixed. They showed that as you get older, your IQ will generally increase. Students, for example, increase 15 points in 4 years through university. Also, just for the record, as far as we know, Einstein never took the IQ test, therefore his IQ is unknown, not stupidly high. Number 1, your brain works better under pressure. Though the pressure of a deadline can motivate us to work harder, it doesn't mean we get better performance out of our brain. In fact, stress is more likely to impair functions of the brain and making everything worse. So there we have it, 10 myths about the brain. Remember to share the video, like the video, and even comment on the video if you really want. Thanks for watching, see you next time on ES Einsteinium.